Hey guys, how's it going? So I thought I'd give my unbiased prediction for Belal Muhammad versus Vicente Luque that's happening this weekend. And yeah, I only really do see one guy winning this fight, in all honesty, and that would be Vicente Luque. I don't think this is going to be a competitive fight. I think this is I'll be very surprised if Belal wins, and I'll tell you why. So we'll start off by talking about Belal Muhammad. Belal Muhammad, um, and look, I don't want to make it sound like I hate Belal or anything because I don't. But in terms of like fighting, his fighting style, I don't really rate him or hold him in high regard. In all honesty, because this is essentially what his fighting style is. His fighting style is basically, I'm gonna just pressure you, and I'm willing to take a bunch of shots to, land my own shots. That's kind of what his style is, right? In my opinion, you know what I mean. And he's one of these fighters who doesn't really have a defense. You know what I mean? His defense, in my opinion, isn't that good, right? I'm not saying it's the worst defense ever, but it's not the best. It's not the best at the same time, right? So, he's one of these fighters who relies on his chin to land his own punches, right? So he's willing to take a shot to give a shot. And I've told you guys before that I don't really rate fighters like that a lot. You know what I mean? Because one, you're taking a lot of damage, and it's gonna make you lose brain cells later in your career, right? But also, it's like, you can take so many punches in a fight, but you can only take so many punches in a fight, right? So, for example, like this is why I don't rate guys that highly, like Justin Gaethje or the Korean Zombie, because we saw what happened to the Korean Zombie last week. Is that he got like throughout his career he was taking so much punishment from guys like Brian Ortega, Yara Rodriguez, you know what I mean, just so many fighters early in his career, right? And by the time he fought Alexander Volkanovski, who has such a high fighting IQ, Volkanovski was landing these big punches on the Korean Zombie. He was just beating him up for the majority of the fight until it was stopped, and it showed he got beat up badly in that fight, and his chin it wasn't holding up anymore, right? And same thing with Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje is one of these guys who's just, he counterpunches well, but he takes too much punishment by guys like, Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier, you know what I mean? Even Michael Chandler to a certain extent, right? He takes a lot of unnecessary punishment when really he could, work on his defense a lot more. You know what I mean? And he was taking a lot of shots against Dustin Poirier, and he had a fairly good chin against Poirier, but, as a result, it just took one shot to, rock him and put him out. Poirier was able to catch him with, I think it was a right cross, right on the button, and that's what, really rocked Justin Gaethje until the fight was just stopped. So, that's kind of what Belal is like. Belal is, in my opinion, doesn't have a good chin, or as good of a chin as Gaethje and the Korean Zombie for the respected weight classes. And I think that's what's going to get him knocked out in this fight, in all honesty, the thing is, even though he's beaten guys like Damian Maia and Wonderboy, he was still taking, some shots, some good shots from those guys. Damian Maia was obviously known for his, grappling, right? Being one of the best grapplers in the UFC, in history anyway. And, Wonderboy was obviously, lighting up Belal on the feet. But as a result, he was just getting taken down. But, obviously Wonderboy being out of his prime, him lacking, the reflexes and the athleticism, that he had when he was younger. Because people don't even realize this, but Wonderboy actually had some really good takedown defense when he was in his prime, right? He was defending takedowns against guys like Rory McDonald, Tyron Woodley, and so on, right? Those guys are very good, grapplers or wrestlers anyway, right? So, and against Belal Muhammad, he was getting taken down, so willy-nilly. It was just, it was one of those things. And it was the same thing in the Gilbert Burns fight. And look, I'm not saying that Belal Muhammad and Gilbert Burns are bad fighters, but I don't think they're certainly not fighters that, Wonderboy should have lost to, right? I think, in my opinion, a prime Wonderboy would have knocked out both Burns and Belal Muhammad. Just my opinion. But but the point is that even when the fight was on the feet, he was still taking some shots from Wonderboy and Damian Maia, right? And same thing with the Leon Edwards fight, even though that resulted in a no contest, because of Belal getting eye poked. I mean, he still got rocked in that fight by Leon Edwards, right? So, I mean, it's not like, I don't know, I don't think Belal's chin really does him any favors in a fight, right? Especially when he doesn't have that great of defense. I mean, one thing I will give Belal is that he has good takedown defense, so I'll give him that. But I mean, that's just kind of it. You know what I mean? It's not like, and he has some decent wrestling as well. But I don't know. He's essentially just a pressure fighter who just relies too much on his chin to win fights. In terms of Vicente Luque, I think is a much more skilled and talented fighter than Belal Muhammad. Because Vicente Luque has power, right? He's got good. He has better grappling, I think, than Belal Muhammad, and he has a better chin. So, I just think that him, if he's gonna pressure like Luque on the feet, Belal Muhammad, then I think Luque is gonna counter, and Belal's gonna get knocked out again. And also, if Belal tries to wrestle with Vicente Luque, I mean, say he takes Vicente Luque down and starts grappling with him. Well, if he does that, then he's gonna get submitted on the ground. Right? I mean, we saw what Vicente Luque did to Michael Chiesa. He was a good grappler, right? And, many other grapplers as well, right? So, I just don't see Belal really winning this fight anywhere it goes. I mean, some people will look at this fight and say, oh, but, Wonderboy beat Luque and Belal beat Wonderboy. So, I won't pay too much attention to that. Like I said, when Wonderboy fought Belal, he was out of his prime. You know what I mean? Right? His athleticism wasn't holding up. But when Wonderboy fought Luque, I think he was a bit younger, and he still had it in him. Plus, Luque he was trying to strike with Wonderboy. He was, you know what I mean? And Wonderboy, even to this day, is still an elite striker, right? And that's why Wonderboy was really beating up Luque in that fight. But Luque showed that he had a good chin in that fight against Wonderboy, so. I mean, I know he was getting beat up in the last round. Like, he was getting knocked down and rocked all over the place. But still, I don't know. From what I've seen, I think Luque does have a better chin than Belal Muhammad, right? And that's just it. So, the way I see this fight going, I don't know if it's going to end in a submission or knockout. But I do see Vicente Luque getting a finish in this fight. I don't know who has better wrestling. Right, I don't know who the better wrestler is. You know what I mean? I think they're probably equal in terms of that, and stuff, right? I don't know if Luque will take Belal down because, Belal has good takedown defense as well. But I don't know. I think probably a knockout will take place. Although I could be wrong. Maybe Vicente Luque will get it done by submission. At the end of the day, though, I just see Luque winning this fight by stoppage, and that's that. So. Yeah, in terms of what would be next for Luque if he wins this fight, it's kind of a tough one because you have Edwards who's fighting Usman in a rematch, right? You have Covington who most likely will fight Khamzat Chimaev next. He's not going to fight Burns because Burns is his sparring partner, right? Or his teammate anyway. I don't know. I don't know who he could fight next. Jorge Masvidal maybe, but Masvidal's arrested, so I don't know. Who knows? But I mean, either way, I don't know. I think Vicente Luque is a good fighter, and I do see him fighting for the title or getting a title shot in the future. I think he's a not very overlooked fighter, but I think he definitely gives some of the top welterweights problems. So yeah, we'll see how this fight plays out. But yeah, I do see Luque winning this fight, but I guess Belal maybe has a puncher's chance, you know what I mean? Or maybe even a submission chance, like if he gets a perfectly timed submission, but I don't know. It's hard to see Belal really winning this fight, and now, it's hard to see him out matching Luque in any aspect, whether it's the ground game or the striking aspect, so yeah, we'll see. But my pick is Vicente Luque by finish, probably in the second round. I think it's going to go the same way that it was the last fight. So yeah, we'll see. But anyway, let me know what you guys think Give me your prediction in the comments below. I'd like to hear it. And yeah, that being said, hope you guys have a good one. Take care and peace.